Sofia Delgado had always trusted Howard Brennan. He had been her grandfather's best friend for 40 years, the man who showed up at every birthday, every holiday, every hospital visit. She never imagined he would be the one to try to take everything once her grandfather could no longer speak for himself. Frank Delgado was 82 years old and had built a successful auto parts distribution business in San Antonio, Texas, over 5 decades. His estate, including the business, his home, and substantial savings, was valued at $3.6 million, held in a revocable living trust he had established years earlier with Sofia as primary beneficiary. Sofia, 34, had moved in with her grandfather in 2021 after his memory problems became impossible to ignore. Howard Brennan, 79, a retired attorney and Frank's closest friend since college, had originally helped draft the trust and remained listed as a backup successor trustee in case Sofia was ever unable to serve. As Frank's dementia progressed through 2022, Howard began visiting more frequently, always when Sofia happened to be running errands. In October, Howard presented Frank with what he called a routine trust amendment, explaining its simply updated administrative details. Frank, in a documented state of significant cognitive decline, signed where Howard indicated. The amendment quietly removed Sofia and named Howard as sole trustee and sole beneficiary. Frank passed away in February of 2023. Howard waited only 10 days before presenting the amendment to the trust's bank. Sofia discovered the change when the bank froze her access pending review. She retained attorney Diane Foster, a trust litigation specialist in San Antonio, who immediately requested Frank's medical records from October. The documentation was clear. Frank's neurologist had assessed him just 2 weeks before the signing and recorded severe impairment, specifically noting he could not reliably understand financial documents. Diane also discovered that Howard, as a retired attorney, should have recognized the ethical conflict in personally benefiting from a document he helped present to a man he knew was cognitively impaired. The hearing was held before the Honorable Judge Elena Vasquez at the Bexar County Probate Court. Diane Foster presented the neurological records, expert testimony confirming Frank's documented incapacity, and the timeline showing Howard's visits had increased precisely as Frank's condition worsened. Howard's attorney argued Frank had always intended to reward their lifelong friendship. Diane Foster asked the court why, if that were true, Howard had waited until his friend could no longer understand a legal document to formalize it, rather than discussing it openly years earlier. Judge Vasquez ruled the amendment invalid due to lack of capacity and breach of fiduciary duty, restoring the trust entirely to Sofia. She referred Howard Brennan to the Bexar County District Attorney for elder financial exploitation and to the State Bar of Texas for ethics review, given his legal background. He was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in Texas State Prison. Sofia kept her grandfather's business running and still calls it by the name he gave it in 1974. Frank Delgado trusted his oldest friend for 40 years. In his final months, that friend tried to take everything Frank had built. The court made sure he did not succeed. Would you have suspected a lifelong family friend? Tell us in the comments below. And if this story moved you, subscribe to Court of Shadows for more courtroom drama stories every week.